Well, hello everybody and welcome to Jeff's baking blog. Today I'm going to be making something called Pfeffernusse, which is a German gingery spicy biscuit which is iced on the top. These are traditional apparently in Germany at Christmas. Now I've seen various recipes and I've watched some videos, and some people don't ice them. They let them go cold and then they cover them in icing sugar or powdered sugar. But I've spoken to some friends who are German and asked how they remember them from Christmases they've spent in Germany, and they say they're iced over the top but not underneath. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Now the spice they use is something called, if I can get this right, Gewürz, and it's actually a combination of lots of different spices, and I will put an explanation with my recipe on my blog as to what goes into that particular named concoction. And I mean, it has star anise, it has cloves, mace, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, I think, ground coriander as well. So lots of different spices. So I made up a batch of it, and I'm using 2 teaspoons of that, but you can actually just mix the, put individual spices in yourself. So I'll go through the ingredients, and we have 2 teaspoons of this Gewürz powder. We have half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. 290 grams of plain flour, all-purpose flour, 25 grams of ground almonds, 1 medium egg, that would be large in the USA, 70 grams of butter, 45 millilitres, 3 tablespoons of double cream or heavy cream, 110 grams of light brown sugar, and 80 millilitres, 1/3 of a cup of honey. And so the first thing to do is to put the honey, the sugar, the cream and the butter into a saucepan and bring that up to a hot temperature so that the butter melts and the sugar dissolves and such like. Then you set it aside for 5 minutes. So I'm going to put that in the saucepan and bring it all together, and then I'll be back with you so that we can go on to the next step. So as you can see, that's just about all melted now. What I'm going to do is to make sure I've got any little lumps of sugar broken down. Then I'm taking that off the heat and we'll let it cool down for 5 minutes. Okay, so our butter and cream and honey and sugar mixture is cooling down. So what I'm going to do now is just mix the flour with the baking soda, the salt, the pepper and the Gewürz mixture. Let's call it the spice mixture in future. And the 25 grams of ground almonds. And I'm just going to mix that together to get it distributed a little bit. The smell is awesome from all those spices. And I'm going to just break up the egg, because we'll add the egg later and it's easier to distribute if it's broken up. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to take our melted mixture, and I'm going to pour the flour mixture into the saucepan and mix around to get it all combined. Now this is going to make a very sticky mixture indeed, and we're going to have to chill it in the fridge. Overnight is preferable, but I would say for at least 5 or 6 hours. I should say I've taken this recipe from a website called daringgourmet.com, and that has some wonderful pictures on it of the various steps that you go through with this mixture. So as you can see, that has come together, but I'm now going to put the egg in. And mix that in. And for that, I'm going to use a spoon. At least to start off. And with our mixture all combined with the egg, it's very, very sticky. And I'm going to pull that out onto some plastic wrap. Like that. And then I'm going to lift it up like that and wrap it up. And I'm pushing that down because we're going to end up, after it's firmed up, rolling it into sausage shapes for cutting. So that will be fine like that. And I'm going to rest that in the fridge now for about 8 hours. Right, well, I'm back with you now, and I've taken our cookie dough out of the fridge and I've cut it in half. Then I've cut it in half again, and I've rolled one of the 4 quarters out into a sausage shape about 9 inches long, and then I've cut that into 12, and I've rolled that into balls. So they're about 3/4 of an inch round, the balls, and so I have my second sausage here, which I need to roll out until that's about 9 inches long as well. I'm just going to remove it from the paper. Try to get a fairly even thickness. And I'll just check my ruler again. Not quite. Yes, that's right. So I'm going to halve that like that, and then I'm going to roughly like that to get 12, and the other half that I have in the fridge is actually slightly heavier, and I'm going to get 13 out of that, so that will make 50. So what we do is we cut and we roll it into a ball like that, and we put them on a baking tray, and I have the oven preheating at 180 Celsius. That's 160 Celsius with a fan, 350 Fahrenheit. And I'm only going to put 12 or 13 onto each tin. I'm actually going to take a bit off that one because it's too big. Because I'm not quite sure how far they're going to spread. So having got 24 rolled out, I'm going to bake them in the oven for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to take them out and let them cool completely. I will bake the other 26 as well, and when they've all cooled completely down, I'll be back with you and we'll do the icing. Right, I'm back with you, and I've taken our cookies out of the oven and let them cool down. And what I've done now is I've weighed out 290 grams of icing sugar, which I've sifted, and I'm going to put into that up to 4 tablespoons of hot water. I'm going to start off with 3. And I'm going to mix it together. Until we get an icing that I can dip the cookies into and coat them. I'm going to need more water. And I'll use a larger spoon. And that's dripping quite nicely. So I think that's, I'm just going to put another half a teaspoon of water in there. And then I'm going to dip our cookies in the icing and place them onto a wire rack which has a baking tray underneath it so that it catches any drips. Right, so I'm back with you now, and I've iced the Pfeffernusse, and as you can see, I've put them in this container. The icing is set reasonably well, and I've cut one in half, just so you can see what it looks like on the inside as well. So I'll have a taste. The first thing you get is the hit of the sugary icing, and then you get the pungent flavour of all those spices, the cinnamon and the cloves and the mace, the nutmeg, the star anise, cardamom, etc. Very, very good indeed. So this is the first time I've tried these. This is the first time I've tried these, and ideal for Christmas, I'm sure. So that's it for this recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please join me again soon when I do something else. But also click with a thumbs up to say that you've liked the video if you have, and click to subscribe to my YouTube channel. In the top right hand corner of the screen there'll be an eye that you can click on to get to the recipe. I'll also put a link below the video so that you can get to the recipe that way as well, and I'll be back with you in the very near future. So until then, happy baking.